kinds of measure. So up to last class, we have seen different measures, and we call it as measures of central tendency. And now we are seeing measures of dispersion. What we mean by dispersion? What we mean by dispersion?
Diverging from a single source.
Yes, diverging or spread. How far the score is spread? How far the score is spread? So that is what we are going to look into for in this category. So the last category for is the statistics tells about the central portion of the data, like mean, median, mode, and now we are going to look into how much the scores are spread, how much distance between the lowest and highest score, how far it is being spread. So in that way, we are going to look into, and that we call it as measures of dispersion. Okay. So here we have four measures of dispersion. The first one is range. The second one is quartile deviation QD. Third one is average deviation AD. The last one is standard deviation ST. So these are the four measures which tells about how far the score is being diffused or spread. Okay, so the first one is very easy to you. What is R? How to find it? We have done.
Upper limit minus lower limit.
Wonderful, man. You live long. How to find range?
Sir, highest score minus lowest score.
Yes, that's what. Highest score minus lowest score is equal to range. Okay, so see, you should remember how to work out, otherwise it will be erased from your memory. Okay, after every class you have to work. Little assignment are there for every class. See, after writing, you have to post that bounded book to me, the full statistics book, starting from question. Okay, keep writing. You should not write at the end everything. This fellow is asking why he is giving this much trouble. Like that, he'll be scolding. That's all. Whether you are writing or not, I do not know. So do it every day. Otherwise, at last, you cannot do it. If you are not doing it, and at last, it will be a large book like theory, like a thesis. It will come. PhD thesis. It will come. If you are daily doing it, it will be a page or 2 pages. That's all. Or daily means weekly two classes only. That's all. Not daily. So follow it, keep doing, and then at the end you either stitch it or spiral it, whatever you do, and then you post it to me. So we have to see the hard copy. Then quartile deviation, average deviation, standard deviation. We'll go one by one. We'll take it. How to calculate? What is the definition? And then we will at last do this comparison among the four statistics, as like we did for mean, median, and mode. Out of mean, median, and mode, which is the very good statistics? Mean, median, and mode.
Mean.
Mean is the
Mean, sir.
mean is the good statistics.
Mean, sir.
Because yes, completed, because it takes care of all the data. Because it takes care of all the data. If we say median or mode, it avoids it avoids dash terminal data, end data. So it avoids the end data. Suppose if you have a normal probability curve like this, and if you see the central part only gives the mean, median, and mode. And the parts which is being shaded, it will be for dispersion. So this shaded portion won't come for median and mode. Only mean will take care of it, and that is why mean is called as. That is why mean is called as. Yes, fill in the blanks. That is why mean is called as center of gravity. Not remembering. Mean is called as center of gravity. See, you know, in physics, the center of gravity is very important for us. If you are not having the center of gravity, what it will do? What it will become? An object which is not having center of gravity, it falls down. So even a scooter, even a car, whatever it is, it has to have a center of gravity. If it is not maintaining center of gravity, it falls down. So therefore, it falls down. The mean is the very good statistics, and it is used for all higher order statistics. So likewise, we have to compare at the end for these four measures of dispersion. So I'll give an example. Why at all we go for dispersion? For that, I'm giving an example. So you have two sections, section A and section B, and I have conducted a test for section A in assessment and learning. Their mean is 40. In section B, the same test, the same question paper is given to them in assessment and learning. Their mean is also 40. Okay, then what is the comment you give for both the classes? What is the comments? The performance in their performance. Section A's performance with respect to assessment of learning and section B's performance, will it be same or different? Different. But they have got the same meaning. How could it be different?
Individual performance is different.
Yes.
Individual performance is different.
Individual performance is different, which means that with mean alone you cannot say the performance. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. With mean alone we cannot say the performance because you see the values. In section A, all the 5 students, they have got 40 marks. Very good class. Everybody has got the same score, not even more, not even less, average score across the class. Therefore, if you add and divide by 5, you will get the mean equal to 40. You see the section B smart. One fellow is 20, the other fellow is 60, the next fellow is 80, and the fourth fellow is like me, 0 mark, and fifth fellow 40. So get the mean, add it, divided by 5, you will be getting 40. So with mean alone, we cannot say the performance of any class. So we need other statistics. What are the other statistics to explain this performance? What are the other statistics? The other statistics are measures of dispersion. What we are doing, what we are seeing today, what we are discussing today, range, quartile deviation, average deviation, and standard deviation. Those are the statistics which tells about the dispersion. This is what the dispersion. Okay, let us go. So suppose if you take section A, the range. What is the range of section A?
0.
0. What is the range of section B?
80.
80. See the differences. See the spread. The scores in section B is spread, but the scores in section A is not at all spread. It's they got all the students, they got equal marks. Therefore, the spread is 0. Section B, there are variation in scores. Therefore, the range is equal to 80. Okay, right. So these dispersion will be knowing in today's class. Okay. right? That is what discussed in this PPT or this slide or this part of the slide, and hence we are going for measures of dispersion. So the central tendency alone cannot explain everything. Even though mean is the good quantity which takes care of all the values, with mean alone we cannot explain our class. So apart from the mean, we need many statistics. So that's what we are going. So even in your 7th semester, if you are going to school and you have to keep one standardized test to your students, that is what you are prepared by you. After getting the results from the students, you have to go through all these statistical measurements: mean, median, mode, range, quartile deviation, average deviation, standard deviation. All those things you have to do. Okay, right. And that's what we are learning in this class, this semester. Assessment of learning. How the learning is being assessed. Okay. See, after the 4th year, you are being certified. You are being certified as the Bachelor of Science Education in Mathematics, or BSc BL. If you bifurcate it and tell Bachelor of Science, I am sorry, I told in a integrated way. It's a Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Education. 2 degrees you are getting. So how do you get that degree? You are being assessed. You are being assessed across 8 semesters. Okay. So this course tells you how you can assess your students, because since you are going to become a teacher, we should know how to assess our students, and these are the ways to assess. Okay, right? And now we are going for the data. Just this diagram you can remember. The diagram, suppose you have a score up to 1 to 100, and that can be diagrammatically represented a data like this. Okay, starting a line which is being represented for 100 data. Okay, I think range, it's very easy for you. Now we are going for a quartile. Suppose now I mark here and name it Q1, and I mark here, name it Q2. I mark here. Here means it's in between 50 and 100. The in between exact center point. I mark it and name it Q3. Q1 is exactly in between. It's the middle point. It's the median of 1 to 50. Okay, like this I have made into quartiles, 4 quartiles. Okay, right? What Q2 is called as? The data from 1 to first quarter, it is called as Q1 data, first quarter, 25% of the scores. And from from 1 to half, you call it as Q2 scores. And 1 to 75% of the scores you call Q3, and 1 to 100% of the scores called Q4. And we have 4 quadrants. Okay, what is the another name for Q2?
Median.
Yes, to get this so much time you are taking. The another name for Q2 is median, which is nothing but the middlemost score, which divides the data into 2 equal halves. That is the median. Okay. So okay, these are the 4 quartiles. That's a four quartiles in a data. If you have a data, and the data can, if you think the data is of 100%, and you can say that it can be divided into 4 equal parts, 1/4, and therefore you'll be having 4 1/4 of your data, right? Okay. So now let us take this one. I am drawing a line from Q1 to Q3. What does this line represents? Q1 to Q3. What does the data line from Q1 to Q3 represents? So the data from Q13, it's also 50%. It is also 50% because the left side you left 25%. The right of Q3 you also left 25%. Therefore, from Q1 to Q3 you have 50% of the data. What is the difference between the 50% in median and the 50% here, Q1 to Q3? What is the difference? Yes.
Q1 to Q3
One
represents
starts
50
from
different values.
Yes, Snake Anjali, Q1 to Q3?
Represents 50 different values.
50 different values. Very good, very good. And another person who was trying to talk? Yes, the second person.
yes, sir. Sir, it starts from initial and one starts from second point.
Okay, okay. Any other answer? So the question is, what is the difference between the median, which you say the 50%, and the another 50% which represents from Q1 to Q3? Both are 50%. See, this is the middlemost 50% of value, middlemost 50%, middle values, middle 50%. Whereas the median divides half, equal halves. If you say median, the left side it will be 150%, the right side it will be the other 50%. But in Q1 to Q3, it is the middle 50% of the scores, the center 50% of the scores. Okay, right. Okay, I'm writing on the second portion. So if you subtract Q3 minus Q1, you'll get a value, and that value is called as interquartile range. So that value Q3 minus Q1 is called as interquartile range. And if you take half of it, how to take half of it? Divide by 2. This is called quartile deviation. That's all. So Q3 minus Q1 is interquartile range. If you take half of it, then that is called as quartile deviation. The other name is, it is semi-interquartile range. So suppose we say the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. Since we are taking half of it, it is semi. Semi means half. Semi or hemi. So the semi-interquartile range is nothing but quartile deviation. This is what you have to find. Okay, right. How to find it? How to find it? You know this. What are the things you have to find to get QD? What are the things you have to compute to get QD?
Q3 and Q1 values.
Very good. Q3 and Q1. If you compute Q3 and Q1, you can get QD. How to compute Q3 and Q1?
Q3 will be half of Q2 and Q4.
Wonderful. You have found Q2. No. How did you find? How did you find Q2? Q2 is equal to median. What is the formula for median? It is the real lower limit of the median class is, I think it's what it is. real lower limit of the median class into n into 50 by 100 minus f divided by f of the frequency of the median class into
Sir,
class.
L plus.
Yes, that is what I left. L plus. This is the formula. This is the formula for Q2 for group distribution. Because we do not know, just if you find Q2 just by divided by 2, you won't be getting the exact Q1. So don't think like that. Just if the median is 70, if you are getting median is equal to 70, then Q1 is equal to 70 by 2, it is equal to 35. This is not Q1, because it is, even though in the number line, in the timeline of numbers, it is like this, but the spread of the scores will not be like this. I think you may be understanding what I'm saying. It is not the bread as like you cut into 4 equal halves. You do not know how marks are being arranged in the number line, because in a class there may be more marks here and there may be less mark here. I think you can understand what I am telling. So if there are minimum marks, the marks are very aggregated in the middle level. If you are getting median as 70, if you take half of it, this 35 will not be Q1. It won't be coming like, because everything depends upon how many marks you are getting. So the number of marks in that timeline. Okay. This 35 will be true if at one point, if you have one mark, at 1.1 mark, 1.2 mark, 1.3, like that. If you have, then this half of that will be Q1. Like that, it may be true, but you can find it. See, suppose you will be finding, you will be having data, you can find it. Q1 will not be coming half of Q2. While finding, you can do it. Right. So you know the formula for finding median. What is the change you have to do for Q1 here? Just the same procedure, but a small change. What is the change you have to do here? And the L plus n into 50 by 100 minus cumulative frequency divided by frequency of the median class into I. What is the change? What are the change you have to do it? Is somebody there, or I am talking to hollow?
N, sir.
Yes, n. Instead of n, what should I put? Whatever you like, you put, sir. Why you are asking?
N by 2.
Okay, so I think these things I can be little bit. I don't know. I don't want to say that you have to say, but if you little bit, if you express, then it means that you are applying the concepts. Just if you have to come out. I know, because I have read yesterday. That is why I am telling to you. It's not that I am bigger than you. I am also learner. Since I little bit I know it, I can say. I have not invented this. Somebody invented. I am telling to you, that's all. The thing is that suppose you know to calculate Q2, and the formula for Q1 and Q3 is little bit modification of that formula Q2. A little bit modification. If we are trying to say that little bit modification, if you are trying and say, which means that you are in the level of application and you have that HOTS skill, higher order thinking skills. So like this only our examination should be. Okay. So it has to take out of you from remembering and understanding. From that level, it has to take you out and you have to try to apply. Okay, let us apply. Which means that if you are going for Q1, see Q2, it is the 50th or the middle score. It is a 50%. That is why here it's a 100 by 2. So that is why you are taking 50 here. Therefore, in Q1, always that L will be there. There will be no change in L. It is the real lower limit of the Q1 class. Some median class you have it like that. Q1 class will be there. In that, the real lower limit of the Q1 class plus N into, you are saying the Q1, which means that it is the 25th data generally. So this is the change, 25th data minus cumulative frequency of all the class below Q1 class divided by frequency of the Q1 class into I. That's all. This is what Q1 is. Okay, are you understanding this one? Will you be able to follow? What are the changes here? Yes, what are the changes? Tell me, what are the changes here?
Lower limit, real lower limit should be that of Q1.
Yes. N into 50 by 100 is equal to, which means that N by 2. N into 25 by 100, it is equal to
N by 4.
N by 4, which is otherwise you can tell it is 1 by quarter of N, which means that 25%. First quarter, 1 by 4 is the first quarter. This is 1/2. The changes here is here in this part only it changes. Remaining all are same because the class will be getting fixed at what level you are fixing. If it is Q2, it is Q2 class. If it is Q1, it will be Q1 class. If it is Q3, it is Q3 class. So the class will be fixing in which level you are seeing. So the essential change is here, N by N into 25 by 100. Okay. I think now you can predict for Q3. What is the formula for Q3? So now one I have said, and the other one you can see. What is the formula? Just tell me. Q3 is equal to
LQ3 plus
yes, lower limit of the LQ3 plus, this is class, plus N into
75 by 100
very good
minus
100 minus
F
cumulative
that
frequency of the all class below the Q3 class divided by frequency of the Q3 class into class interval. That's all. So by this way, you know how to calculate Q1 and Q3. Therefore, apply in that formula, you will be getting QD. So that's what now I am going to explain. Just I want to show with. I will be showing for two types of data. What are those two types of data? And now I'll be showing the calculation of QD for two types. The same two types we have seen all along for central tendency. Yes?
Grouped and ungrouped.
Very good. It is for grouped and ungrouped. Okay, right. And these are the explanation which I have given previously. This is the PPT for that explanation. So these are the things. No, 3 to 10 minutes. So these which we have discussed earlier, but now I am showing in PPT. That's all. So this is what the formula for the median. Okay, for the assumed median class, real limit for the assumed median class. Likewise, we have to assume for Q1 class and Q3 class the same way. Everything is one and the same. So this is for assumed Q1 class. Cumulative frequency just below the Q1 class, frequency of the Q1 class. So you can see this. So the same thing here. Right now I am showing for ungrouped and grouped data. Both I will show. Okay. This is for grouped data. See how to find a assumed Q1 class. I am projecting the answer and I am asking. How to get assumed Q1 class? See, what is the total number of data? Total number of data is 56. And 1/4 of 56, that is 25%. That is equal to, I think, 49. How is it? 56 divided by 4? I think 14 only. So you have to go to that 40th datum, then that class is called as assumed Q1 class. So that's what it has been made as red. The datum 14th datum that lies in this class, and that class which is marked red font, that is a Q1 class. Okay, I think hereafter it will be easy for you. Same as like Q2, the same thing you have to do here. So the real lower limit of that class, it is 54.5. You can see here, it is 55 to 59. Therefore, real lower limit is 54.5. Frequency is 14. Cumulative frequency is the frequency below the class 7. This one. And the class interval is 5. So substitute in the formula, we'll be having 59.5. You know what is the Q2 for this value? The same data. Do you remember what was the Q2 median for this data? Previous class. Anybody remember? I think it is 60 something, 69 or something. What was the median? Six 6.7. So Q2 is equal to 66.7 and Q1 is equal to 59.5, and our number line may not be perfect as we have drawn. We have drawn the number line. No, here it is Q1, here it is Q2, here it is Q3, the last Q4. This value is 59.5. Oh, sorry, that is 66.9. Q2 is 66.9 and Q1 is 59.5. What is the distance between Q1 and Q2? Almost roughly, if you take it 67, maybe a data of 7, roughly. I'm not going to decimals. Roughly a data of 7. Okay, this is what the numbers looks like, because there are many students who are having marks here. There are many students. Very few students are getting less than in 2 or 3, 5, 10. Very few students. Very few students are getting 90, 100. See the distance. See, we thought no, like if Q2 is equal to 66, what we thought Q1 is equal to Q2 by 2. Like that only we thought. It won't be like that. Because everything depends upon the aggregation of marks or spread of the marks, where the marks are. Generally, the marks will be more in the middle 50 values. So the middle 50 values is the interquartile range. Here only the more part of the marks will be in the middle one. At the extreme ends, we'll be having only less scores. That is why, as we thought, it won't be like that. It won't be at the equal points. Q1 will be not always half of Q2. Okay, so you have to calculate. Just this is what we get. The same way you have to calculate for Q3, and you see total value is 56 number of scores divided by into the 3/4 of the value. 3/4 of 56. What is the 3/4 of 56? That is 75%. What is the 3/4 of 56? – 56 into 3 by 4. 14 into 3. 14 into 3. I think.
42.
42, correct. Where does the 42th datum lies? Where does? It is here. The 42nd datum will be in this class. Therefore, this class is called as assumed. This class is called as complete. Assumed.
Q3 class.
Very good. Say along with me. Otherwise, you will be sleeping. Q3 class. Right. The same way you have to do. This is the same way. Okay. As like Q1 we calculated, and you see 75.75. You see the just I'll put in the number line, data line. Okay. Right. This is Q1. This is Q2. This is Q3, and this is Q4. And what we thought, this will be 100. This will be starting from 1, and it will be, sorry, so a number starting from 1 ends with 100. That will be, and this will be the 25th score. This will be the 50th. This will be the 70th. And it will be okay, but if everyone is assume that if there are 100 students in a class, and the first student is getting number 1 mark, second student is getting number 2 mark, third student is getting 3 marks, fourth student is getting 4 mark. If it were like that, then our Q1 will be 25, Q2 will be 50, Q3 will be 75. Like that only it will come. If from 1 to 100, each student is getting that designated marks. First student 1 mark, second student 2 marks, third student 3 marks, fourth student 4 mark, fifth student 5 mark, and 100 students 100 mark, like that. For that hypothetical data, you may get Q1 will be half of Q2. For others, it will be same. See, now you got Q3, it is 75, and Q1, what is it is Q2 is 66. I think this is 59. Roughly, I'm saying without decimals, I am writing. Q1 is 59, Q2 is 66, Q3 is 75. Without decimals, I have written. See how much they are very near. 55 to 56 and 66 to 75. So within these only 50% of the middle scores are lying. 50% of the scores are lying. Okay. And remaining scores are spread. Remaining scores are somewhere around less than 25 and somewhere around more than 75%. Okay, now you know Q1 and Q3. Now you can calculate. QD is equal to Q3 minus Q1. Substitute those values and you are getting 8.1. That is the spread of the scores. That is the spread of the middlemost score. It is not the spread of the entire score. Because QD is only seeing about the middle 50% of the scores. Therefore, this is the spread around the middlemost scores, which is around 8.125. So this is what how we are finding the QD for grouped data. Okay. Now we are going to calculate QD for ungrouped data. Normally we will be taking this first, but I went because we know how to calculate median. I have taken that as first. So now I have taken values QD for ungrouped data. What is the first step normally we will do for the ungrouped data? For median, how did we do it? For median, what is the first step? Yes, tell me.
Arrange in ascending order.
Very good. After arranging, what shall I do? Now I have arranged. Since you have said to see, you are saying immediately I am doing. Likewise, immediately you have to answer. Next.
N plus 1 by 2 data.
The same. Very good answer. N plus 1 by 2 for median. Likewise, you have to go for Q1 and Q3. Okay. So if it is N plus 1 by 2, it is for median. So we have to go for different formula for Q1 and Q3, and let us try that. So we have arranged. See, it is for Q1, it is N plus 1. It is 1 plus 1 divided by 4. You'll be getting some data. That data it will be the Q1, because this is for ungrouped score. And N plus 1 into 3 by 4 because this is Q3. That data, it will be giving the Q3 place. Okay, I will show you how this is being calculated. So Q1 is equal, now you see on the right hand side, N plus 1 by 4th data, N plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, so if you add N plus 1 and see 3, 6, 7, N is 7. 7 plus 1, 8. 8 divided by 4 is equal to second data. Second data is so here this data is the Q1. Okay. Now we'll go for Q3. N plus 1 by 3 by 4th of data. 8 into 3 by 4, it is 6th data. Here you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th data is the Q3. So now it is very easy. You know Q3, you know Q1. So 11 minus 7 by 2. So 11 minus 7, 4 by 2 is equal to 2. So the spread is the spread in the middlemost is around 2 numbers. Around 2 numbers, it is being spread in the middlemost score. So this is collective. Collectively, in the middle, there are around difference of 2. Okay, this is how we are finding. So now you have your answers on the left.